Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler review series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I was hungry and I figured I'd get in a double review. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, hi-ya, judo throw. I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, though? Happens to be my Judo Master shirt. I love this shirt. It's definitely one of my most nerdy shirts, and I love it. If you're unfamiliar, by the way, with Judo Master, and you might not be. He actually, he shows up in the Peacemaker thing and stuff. Judo Master is actually a somewhat old comic character. He's definitely old at this point. Originally from a publication called Charlton Comics. And Charlton Comics were not exactly a competitor. They weren't at the scale of like your Marvels, your DCs, but they went over there and they had their own superhero line of comics, and Judo Master was amongst those. I'm a big comic book nerd, and I also happen to really like martial arts, so I love these like sort of goofy martial arts characters, especially the older ones. And so I got into the comic books back in my 20s, and I own most of the original run. If you ever want to talk comics or bullshit or whatever, please hit me up in the comments. I'm always happy to yammer on about that stuff too. But anyway, so what am I trying for today, folks? What are we doing here? Double review, eh? So yeah, like I said, this is effectively my lunch. I guess it's dinner now. And I was kind of like mulling around the house, like trying to figure out, I didn't want to make anything. Maybe I'll go out and grab something. So I started looking around at my options. And I was like, you know what I could go for? I could go for a fish sandwich. So I decided to go over there and hop out to, boom, Culvers, because they have a damn fine fish sandwich. Happens to be their North Atlantic cod sandwich, which is their standard fish sandwich. They always have that on offer. But because we're around the Lent season, they have a limited time one as well. Boom! This is their Northwoods Walleye sandwich. Oh yeah, this is a limited time offering that they only have available around this period of time. I figure I'll go over there, I'll try them both, and I'll compare and contrast them. Find out which one I prefer. So, let's get a thing for the thing here. Yeah, okay. Oh, wow, that's a little bit more slippery than I thought. Okay. We're going to make this happen, folks. Believe in Brandon. He's going to make this happen for you. All right, we'll go like that. We'll go like this. We'll go, ha 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 ha! All right. Let's try out the cod first, because this is the one I'm most familiar with. It's always a good fish sandwich. I really like fish sandwiches. Recently, I did a review of the double McFish sandwich, or whatever the hell it's called, from McDonald's. You can watch that review if you're interested. And I mentioned in that I'm fond of Culvers and their particular fish sandwiches. And yeah, man, I think it's a nice, big, meaty sandwich. It's nice and flaky. Doesn't taste doesn't taste fishy or anything like that. It just has a nice fried fish flavor. And I really like that. And And even in the fry itself, it doesn't taste like overly fried. You know, you're not tasting the oil or anything. Really what you're getting is just that nice fish flavor. But again, not fish-y. Just a very nice, meaty fish flavor. I like that. Exterior's, you know, a little bit crunchy. Maybe not as crunchy as you'd optimally like. I definitely like getting to bite into a fish sandwich, you know, have that nice crunch. But, and the other thing we gotta look at is their tartar sauce, which is decent, but I will say is personally, I think, kind of one of the more weak aspects of it. I prefer a more tangy tartar sauce that really kind of lets you know that it's there. With this, it's a little bit more neutral. Like, it's got flavor. It's certainly adding something to the overall. I think that in the case with Culvers, they're trying to let the fish do most of the work. And so I feel like their tartar sauce, you know, again, maybe not the most impressive. But that's a good fish sandwich. I like everything about that. Let's move on to the walleye, though. All right, let's get this big honker. I mean, I kind of got to go from this end because that's the only way I can hold it. Crispier. Yeah, a little bit crispier. I like that. Ooh. That is tasty. Not even going to lie, that's really tasty. Again, nice meaty fish, nice and flaky. A nice fried fish flavor. Here's the thing, though. Whereas with the cod, still very nice. Enjoyed everything about that. A little bit more neutral in the flavor than the walleye. The walleye definitely has more personality to the fish flavor. Again, it's not fish-y or anything like that, but it just has a little bit more oomph to that taste. And I really like that. But still nice and tender. But yeah, there's just a little something extra there. I'm having a good day. Fish sandwich day. Yeah. Cod is good. But I do think I prefer the walleye. Yeah, definitely. Well, like I said, I think it just has a little something extra to it, you know? Meat's maybe just a little bit more flavorful. Lets you know that it's there in a more profound way. I do like that. Okay, well, 3 questions have to be asked, but not really. Would I get either of these again? Would I recommend them? Which do I prefer? Yes, and clearly the walleye. I have to give it to the walleye. I mean, I'm not going to say it's like a flat-out curb stomping or anything like that. Like, the cod was good. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, it's one of my go-to fish sandwiches. You know, both are nice, meaty fish sandwiches. They don't taste overly fried. Tartar sauce, again, a little bit weak. I personally think the Culvers could do to go over there and amp up their, just a little bit, you know, maybe tweak the recipe on their tartar sauce. But both sandwiches are really nice. The walleye, I think, just went out a little bit for me. Like I said, it just had a little bit more personality to it. And as soon as I bit in, got the hiccups. As soon as I bit into it, there was a noticeable difference, you know, and I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I figured it would be different because, you know, 2 different types of fish, but I didn't know that it was going to be, you know, as immediate. But as soon as I bit into that first piece, it hit me, and it was like, no, this is different. And I do like it a little bit more, you know? It's a shame that it's a limited time thing, because I think that for me, even though I'll certainly go back and get the cod again, I do think I prefer the walleye, and I think that, you know, if that were a more readily available thing, maybe stopping at Culvers a little bit more often. But that all said, if I would recommend either of these, I would recommend both. You know, I think that if you're fortunate enough to get in with the walleye while it's around. Now, the one thing I will say, if you're somebody who, you know, maybe like fish, but maybe you're not as into fish, I would go with the cod, because again, it's a little bit more neutral flavor, whereas the walleye has a little bit, again, not a fishy flavor, but just the fish itself has a stronger flavor. So, but I think that anybody else, if you enjoy a fish sandwich, I do think the walleye is kind of the better bet, just oh so slightly while it's available. And, you know, if it's not available, though, again, the cod sandwich is really nice. You know, it has a nice natural taste to it. And, you know, you can tell. I mean, Culvers, they do good work. I think both their fish sandwiches are good, even though I do prefer the walleye a little bit. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, over there yourselves a truly fish sandwich-tastic rest of your life. Fish sandwiches. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But, well, you can do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, let me know. Have you tried the walleye sandwich from Culvers before? If you had, what did you think about it? Did you prefer it to the cod? Do you prefer the cod to it? You know, let your opinions be voiced and known, folks. I'm interested to learn this stuff. But anyway,